Hi, I'm Deb Rubin. We're committed to the TPA community, and we're proud to provide valuable insights and tools to help you grow your business. We've partnered with TPA Resources to bring something very special to the TPA community, its first ever documentary series called TPA at a Crossroads. The second episode deals with strategic planning for future growth. Enjoy.
Atlantic Pension Services started almost 23 years ago, and it's very exciting because we've now grown to almost 450 clients, and it's just hard to believe that we've done that. We are primarily serving 401k plans, although we have the ability to serve defined benefit plans, including cash balance, and 403b plans. We're located in Kennett Square, which is a suburb of Philadelphia, known as the mushroom capital of the world. One of the biggest challenges for me with strategic planning was actually accepting that strategic planning would work. We had been through this once before, and I was skeptical about the process. But it became clear from the beginning that Marc knew what he was doing and that he understood our industry. So it appeared that strategic planning would work. So once I bought in, that helped. The second biggest challenge was that there was a lot of data required for strategic planning. It meant a lot of work for Barb and I. And we had to find the time to do it. So it meant spending time at night and on the weekends gathering all the data that it required.
Over the last 3 years, we had substantial growth. We had 30 plans brought in 3 years ago, then we went to 70, and then 90. During that same period, we upgraded our client management system, and we also had some key employee turnover. All of that while we were trying to manage our deliverable to our clients. We also transitioned from a lifestyle to a more professional firm, and that was a big adjustment for all the employees. And what I mean by that is we went from a very relaxed, casual environment to expecting our employees to be on time, expecting our employees to dress more professional, and also to provide better customer service to our clients. Missy and I have always sat down and discussed where we wanted to go, and we tried to do that on an annual basis. Sometimes we were not successful with that. The hardest part working with Marc was just focusing and finding the time to be prepared for our meeting. So we did not find that process daunting.
I did enjoy working with Marc. Marc told us from the very beginning how the process was going to go. He laid out the steps and told us what was expected of us. And as we went through the process, he was very good to let us know if we weren't following through as we were supposed to. It was nice. We've never had time to have a business coach, and it was like Marc was our business coach. He recommended that we develop goals, and we did this at our strategic planning meeting. We came up with 4 goals. And as a team, we came up with action items for each of these goals. These action items were assigned to each of our management team members. And we've met monthly to see how we're doing with the accomplishment of our action items. It's really exciting to see that we now have accomplished every one of our action items.
We focused on profitability, staffing, and long-term planning. And what I mean by that, profitability, we actually looked at specific billables and discussed how to make sure we were capturing all the revenue that we could. With staffing, we went down and we created a management team for our firm. We hired some support staff. I had always done all the accounting for our company. We actually hired our first accounting assistant, which was tremendous. And the long-range planning, we discussed where do we want to be in 5 years, what were our long-range plans, and how we were going to get there. The outcome so far, we have had a summertime deliverable to our top advisors and key clients. We did a client appreciation event. We created a management team. We hired an accounting assistant, and we did an evaluation of all our employees using the top grading method. And we have monthly meetings, now management meetings, and we also created a dashboard to let people know exactly where we are financially.
We have a strategic plan. We have our goals outlined. We have a vision map. We have a rally cry, which is grow or die. And we also have our core values. And we took our core values and had it made into a mouse pad for each one of our employees so they wouldn't forget them.
So I founded the firm in 2002 because we were trying to solve a particular problem. which was that entrepreneurs and mid-market companies wanted to have access to world-class strategic planning facilitators and strategic advisors, and yet they really didn't want to pay the outrageous fees offered by the large consulting firms. So we've really tried to craft a solution that's designed specifically for them. Well, we are specialists in strategic planning, but there are many times where clients ask for our help with subsets of strategies such as market analysis, or it may be ensuring the optimum utilization of their sales and marketing teams. But we try to stay pretty true to our specialty within the strategy practice. Well, there isn't a particular vertical that we work in. Very commonly, we've worked in financial services, healthcare, technology, just to name a few. But I would say what's more common is the types of companies that gravitate to us is they're dealing with a couple of potential issues. The first is they're trying to figure out where they're going to grow, and they want to, with more clarity, define what products and services they're going to sell into what markets. Others are growing very quickly, and they're trying to figure out what type of resources they're going to need to add in the next 3 to 5 years, whether that be people, process, or technology. I think it's about having a unifying vision. There are a lot of entrepreneurs that run around with the strategy in their head, but there's really no replacement for having a written plan with clear goals and expectations and having a management team rally around the strategic plan. I don't know if you remember, there was a time a few years ago where McDonald's CEO died suddenly at the company's franchise convention in Orlando, Florida, and by Monday morning the board had named a successor. But when interviewed by the press, he said it really doesn't matter who the CEO is because we have so much clarity about our vision and purpose. So with strategic planning, it's that type of energy that we're trying to create. I think there are companies that have a strategy and no strategic plan, and there are others that have a strategic plan and no strategy. So I'm always asking questions like, what might disrupt your marketplace in the next few years? How might your business model need to evolve? How will you lever technology for competitive advantage? And then also, what tactics will you use to ensure that you're actually executing against your strategy? So there's kind of a standard script of things that should be in the strategic plan. So mission statement, values, vision, market analysis, the actual kind of business strategy itself, sales and marketing plan, human capital plan, and so on. But I think it has to be a balance between strategy and tactics. Well, the relationship is all about trust, and the great majority of the time we've been referred into the client by some other trusted advisor. So we ask for everything. It's a full Monty. We need to see the financial statements, org chart. We interview all of the executive managers to understand kind of the fabric of the company. So we hope that they share any information with us that'll be useful in developing the strategy. First, we're always looking for buy-in from the management team. Generally, the CEO has hired us for a reason, and it's my job to win over any other members of executive management that might be intimidated by the idea of strategic planning or don't see the investment in it. So we work very hard to make sure that they have a positive experience and also that they can see with clarity what the return on investment of the process will be. For some of our clients, the end game is some kind of liquidity event or transaction. Others are motivated by other things. But I would say the number one challenge that we see routinely with clients is they just don't have very good information about their market. And so that's a place where we really challenge them to ensure that when we develop the strategic plan, that not only is it meaningful, but it will actually accomplish the objectives that we put forth in the first place. Well, there's many successful companies who haven't had a strategic plan, and there have been many companies who have failed with a strategic plan. But I might say this, it's kind of like a great football coach. He puts his team in a position to win. And I think it's been proven that strategic planning has a high correlation to success in companies, and it improves the probability that you're going to have successful outcomes, such as developing a new product or technology, entering a new market, hiring the right people, developing new technologies. So I view strategic planning as improving the probability that a company will succeed. Well, they were feeling commoditized. There are a lot of online TPAs that are discounting on the internet. So I think for Atlantic Pension Services, it was about finding a focal point, a place where they could deliver unique value into the future. And I think the other part was really helping the management team focus on high-value activities as opposed to low-value activities so that they could continue to drive their revenue growth well into the future. As is pretty typical for us, we started with challenging the management team on developing information that would help them make better fact-based decisions, and then to ensure that we had clarity about their marketplace. And then it was just a matter of agreeing on their strategic priorities and creating tools that they could use to hold their team accountable to specific performance outcomes. Well, I wanted to make sure that they were focused and niche-y. I wanted to make sure that they were delivering a message that demonstrated exactly how they would be delivering value to the marketplace. And I wanted to make sure that they were measuring their effectiveness so that they could ensure that they're actually executing against their strategic plan.
We would like to repeat the strategic planning process. We'd like to have Marc come back and walk us through the whole process again while we have our goals and we have some long-term objectives on our strategic plan. We think it's important that we repeat the process because as we get busy in our everyday work lives, we're not good at following through. And we think it's important that we be held accountable to ourselves.
Transamerica partners with TPAs like you all over the nation to help you achieve increased sales, expanded distribution, improved productivity, and increased revenue. If you'd like more information about working with Transamerica or have questions about our products or services, please email us or find your TPA Services Vice President online. They'd be happy to provide you with an overview of Transamerica. We hope to hear from you soon.